Hey there, everybody. Welcome to a new Big Brother 22 discussion. We are one day away from the premiere.
One more sleep.
One more sleep. Just to make something clear from the get-go, I know we said we were planning to do a live today. Truth of the matter is, our air conditioner is broken, and to try to do one when we wanted to do a live today, we would just be really, really sweaty, and that's not a particularly great look for the video.
And we don't know when the AC guy's going to show up, so he could show up in the middle of live, and we didn't want to interrupt our time with you guys.
But rest assured, what we are going to do is tomorrow, after the premiere wraps up on the East Coast, we will come on. We will do a live then. I think it's not going to be too hot tomorrow out here in California at that point. It'll be pretty late. So we'll come on. We'll do a really good live. We'll spend a lot of time with you guys. We'll answer questions. We'll have a lot of fun. So I hope you guys do check that out. But we have a lot to get to in this video. We have live feeds. When they are starting, we're going to talk about the house that has been revealed. We will speculate about a move-in competition that has been teased by CBS. Also, Josh is now saying on Twitter, and he did just minutes before we came on, that he is not a part of the cast, so we will go through that as well.
Yeah.
All right, before we go any further, if you like this video, subscribe, give us a like, hit that notification bell. Also, check out the store. A link is in the description if you want to support us, and there will also be a link to our Patreon where we have a number of tiers and benefits and all sort of cool stuff that I hope you guys take a look at. Let's get into all of this.
Okay, so let's start with the house tour, because that's something you guys have been asking a little bit about, of sort of what do we think of the new and improved house. I think it looks, the HOH room looks so luxurious. All the sort of like windows that they have where it kind of feels like you have outside, but really there isn't. It's a really nice feel to it. I think it's just the idea of how sort of luxurious the house feels a little bit makes it really special. Like it is all stars.
I think Kimmy on Twitter summed this up perfectly, where she was just like, I had to go to camp last year, and this is what this people, it's like, if I was one of these people who had like the silly beach theme or the camp theme, and now you're getting to see like the high life of glamorous Big Brother, it is so ridiculous how they sort of just screwed some other people over. By the way, I personally kind of hate the themes that are like, oh, let's make these grown adults pretend that they are at a place that children would be at, because it is sort of like, okay, so you think all these people are kids production.
And I love all the sort of graffiti on the walls and having callbacks to some of the great players that have played and just other people that have played, and having some of the quotes and Rachel and Dan's funeral and stuff like that. That was all really cool. Some of it was a little bit hard to read, but maybe that's just me.
It wasn't.
Oh, okay. I was just like, man, what is that saying? And who is that supposed to be? But it was pretty cool. I like that. And I know there's been a lot of speculation that if you're on the wall, you're not in the house. I don't know that I 100% believe that yet, but who knows? Maybe Dan will still come. No, I'm just kidding. This is a joke.
This is the funniest part about it, though, because I spent an unhealthy amount of time thinking about this last night, where if you're Ian Terry, if Ian is on this season, he's going to come in, and there's going to be this huge mural about Dan's funeral. It looks like it's in the kitchen or something like that. And if you're Ian, then if everybody's going to be like that and be like, oh, remember Dan's funeral? And then they're going to be like, oh, yeah, Dan actually didn't even win that season. He lost to Ian. And so it's just a perpetual reminder that Ian beat Dan, and then Ian's like, come on, guy.
Well, and that's kind of what I was wondering, if some of these murals were meant to be there to kind of bring back or trigger memories of people that are actually in the house. That's why I'm even more excited to sort of see, like, are there other murals that are going to be connected to people's games in this house? Or is it just, these are big moments? So it's going to be interesting to see who's actually there, if there's a connection.
Yeah, I'm curious as to how a lot of that's going to play out. I am worried about the possible bias of having reminders of players, like if Cody Calafiore is there, Derek's on the wall, it's like, there's Derek's partner in crime in the house, and if Memphis is there, and Dan's former partner, I will say this. I have been clamoring for Devin to be a part of Big Brother 22. It does seem like Devin got like a comic book treatment. Thank you, Allison Grodner, Big Brother producers. I'm assuming that this is just because I have been sitting here extolling the virtues
that's why.
of Big Brother legend Devin Shepard over the past several months. They also put Frankie in there, so I can't get everything that I want.
Yeah, no, overall, I think they did a pretty good job with the house. It makes sense for this season that it is sort of this fun, funky, little luxurious, cool, very different feel to the house. And I'm glad that they did something special for it.
I'm glad they did something special. Let's talk about a big prevailing sort of theory here, because there's already talk about, they have more bedrooms than usual. Was one of them going to turn into something? Or there's one bedroom in particular, I think it's the key room, where there's like this just like green part of the wall.
Oh yes, the secret room.
That looks like it is a secret room. And don't get me wrong. I want there to be a secret room, because for those of you who don't do Big Brother Canada, they've done this. Big Brother US, they've done this sort of stuff too. But I love a secret room because I just think it's so much fun. I think Big Brother US really botched the Paris room one because they made it too obvious at a certain point. I want it to be sort of like a hidden immunity idol where it's just sort of there, and over time people have to try to find it. The issue that I have, if this is a secret room in that particular spot where there's just like this green, it is the most obvious secret room ever if that is a secret room. I remember Ian like spent a lot of time looking for secret rooms. Ian will find this in 21 seconds.
Everyone's going to find this. I mean, Twitter has seen just like a handful of pictures here, and we're all like, that's a secret room. So I don't think it's going to be a secret room. I think it's going to probably either just be something that production's going to use later on, or I think you mentioned it might be like the have-not room or something else. Like, I don't think it's going to be a secret.
Or maybe it is a gateway to Pandora's box, and maybe Pandora's box is going to be coming up at some point, but it feels like...
And this is why Jesse's not on the show, because he's in the Pandora's box. Ready to work out with people while money rains down on others.
This is good. If Mr. Pictacular is willing to go through a 2-week quarantine so that he can jump at someone in a box, I will give him more credit than I will have given him for anything he has ever done in Big Brother history, because that is commitment to the craft.
Okay, so speaking of that idea that we've heard the rumors that there are people in quarantine to go into the house, but also that there are alternates that have been flown out that have been sitting in quarantine. So there's supposed to be some sort of move-in competition type deal that's supposed to be happening. So we've been kind of talking about some theories of like, what could this competition be? What could this be about? Are they going to do exactly what they did last year, and David's going to go out again with no chance, or something terrible like that? I have a theory on what this is going to be, and it involves the people who would be out here as alternates.
Okay.
So my theory is that we counted how many plates there are at the table. It looks like there's 16. So my theory is that maybe they have 15 people in the cast that they're moving in. That just so that it's not like so unfair. That's like, oh yeah, you guys are alternates. You came and sat out here for 2 weeks for nothing. Thanks for your time. Go home. That maybe the alternates are going to get to have a competition to get that final seat in there, so that it's not just a pure waste of everybody's time.
I really like this idea, and I'm not just here to pump up your ego. I really like this idea. I know, there we go. But yes, I think this is great. I think this is cool because, number one, I don't want everything to be entirely predictable. Like, I don't want to necessarily be wrong with a lot of predictions or whatnot, but if they can surprise us with a house guest we didn't think was going to be on the season, or somebody who's completely out of the blue, that would be so much fun. It would be so much fun to see sort of a competition where maybe somebody gets to be a part of this season that we're not suspecting in some shape or form. And I think doing a competition like this for the last remaining spot, I think, it would stink to be one of these people and everybody else gets to go automatically in and you're an alternate. But if you're one of these sort of people who casual viewers don't necessarily remember, you might be grateful for a shot when you otherwise wouldn't have one at all. And the more that I think about it, I can't see them doing one of these people is randomly going to be eliminated night one, because are they really going to want to lose Tyler?
Did that.
Like, they're not going to try to get rid of Janelle or, like, any of their other, like, super iconic players. Like, if Danielle Donato or Dave Vaughn, who's entertainment gold, like, you don't want to lose somebody this memorable night one. So I just can't see them doing that.
Yeah, and they did just do this last season where somebody went home night one.
Yeah.
And I don't think they're going to want to take a risk that one of their biggest players ends up going home night one. So if they want to have a twist that we, haven't really sort of seen, then having people who have been in sequester all this time who were there as alternates just in case somebody wasn't able to play, give them a chance to be in it. Don't just send them home. Like, give them a move-in competition, some sort of play to be like, hey, I am good enough to be here. I'm not just an alternate.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me in some ways of the start of Big Brother 11, which to bring back Mr. Spectacular again. Like, he won that.
Yep.
There was that sort of showdown, and there were all these other people from past seasons who sort of could have come in that Jesse place, but he was able to sort of get his way back into the game. So that would be fun. The way that CBS is describing this is just that it is action-packed, high stakes, and with an ending that will twist up the game like never before.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, I know.
The ending that will twist up the game like never before, that's the part that I'm not actually surprised about, because we've said this before, but people have been pre-gaming. I feel like it's happening. I don't believe for a second that it's not happening.
No, obviously it's happening.
And CBS knows it. There's no way to control that except with a twist, right? So
yeah.
If you have some sort of ending like never before, that there's going to be some high stakes, whatever, this is how you not control pre-gaming, but this is how you mess up pre-gaming.
One of the things I've thought a little bit about is, have you heard the 3 theory?
No.
The number 3 has been sort of rumored and teased throughout a lot of the teases Julie Chen has done,
okay,
where it's like, this one is like, okay, she's got like 3 emoji in this tweet with a lot of other different markings, or she's got 3 keys. Yeah, like that has been going on. Maybe it is 3 nominees, but they've done that before.
Yeah, they have.
Maybe we're going to give immunity to 3 people at the start of this. Maybe you have like a co-HOH with 3 people.
Too.
Where, like, I know you've done co-HOHs. I don't know if
No, I
they've done
mean
3.
that they've given immunity. Yeah. They did that with Paul when Paul came in on his last season, that they were like, you have immunity for 3 weeks or 4 weeks or whatever it was. And I was like, really? All right.
That was hey, everybody, vote for your favorite. And Paul is the only person any one of you knows.
Yeah.
That was maybe it's connected to all this. I love the 3 theory just because it is the most hardcore Big Brother fan thing to do, where you like try to extrapolate something that may not actually mean anything at all. This is the Julie Chen Halloween costumes.
Yep.
All over again, where you're like, ooh, let me like pull apart every single one of these to take the meaning out of them. But yeah. I hope it's actually something that's really legitimately surprising and not it's a twist like never before, meaning that we're just going to bring back the Saboteur because we're assuming nobody watched Big Brother 12.
Yeah, I mean, there's only so many twists they can really have, so I expect that it's going to be kind of a rehashing of another twist, but with a different, element added to it, so, yeah. I mean, who knows?
Well, the other things that we know here, and this one I think is the one that's going to get the people most excited. Live feeds, according to CBS, are starting tomorrow night.
Yes.
So here's what's going to happen. Wednesday after the premiere, we'll be live after the East Coast.
Yep.
We'll talk to you guys for a long time. We'll have fun. And then later that night, it's after the West Coast airing of the premiere. So it's not going to be until probably 11 p.m. Pacific time. They said kind of around 11:30, which is 2:30 on the East Coast, by the way.
Yeah.
But that's when the feeds are starting. It's going to be a long night tomorrow night. Let's just put it that way.
It's going to be a long night tomorrow night for probably Matt. I will be asleep because I am an old poot and I can't stay awake that late. So some of the late night stuff, you guys are going to just probably have Matt because I just can't stay awake.
Well,
I am too old for that, but I will be awake for the rest of it.
Well, this is the thing, is that, there's Big Brother After Dark. I don't know if After Dark's really happening this season. They haven't really announced anything as of this recording, but There will be Big Brother After Dark on the channel in the form of
yes, there will be
talking about this. Yeah, so I will have
Matt will be up all night.
There will be some sort of live feed update up. I don't know when, maybe 12:30, 1 a.m. Whenever it feels like there's enough info to really get on and talk about and kind of get a sense of some stuff. So that is happening tomorrow. I'm so happy I didn't think we were gonna get live feeds until. I know some people thought like next week. I thought we were gonna get them on Thursday, because typically that's the way it kind of works. Like usually it's the second day. I'm thrilled to have them that night. I'm so excited to have feeds just back in my life. I do not care if it is going to like completely overwhelm much of my life, but it's just good to have something.
Yeah, I'm really excited that they're going to be back right away, even though I'll be sleeping through the first part of them. But it's great that they are not, this season, they are really not holding it all back. We're like Wednesday night, we've got live move-in, learn who the cast is right away. We're going to then be here for a live with you guys, which I can't wait. And then live feeds right away. Like, it is Christmas tomorrow.
Yes, this is the good, oh man, the Christmas Abbott jokes. They're just going to keep on coming. This is not Christmas Abbott, who is probably on this season too, but okay. All right, let's talk about Josh.
Yeah, the last part we're going to talk about is Josh. Josh has gone onto his Twitter to say that he is not on this season and that the rumors about him going around have been mostly false. So, I mean, I've felt like they're probably mostly false. I mean, a lot of the rumors just seem to kind of be about his health, and because he was out partying, that all of a sudden that meant that he's got health problems and this is happening, that's happening. There was too loose of a thread that was going on at that point. I mean, Josh didn't say why he's not on the season, so there might be more, but I've always just felt like it was too loose of a thread for me to be like, oh yeah, this is it. And I've seen people commenting about it that, oh yeah, this is it. He's tested positive. This is a thing. And it's just kind of like, I just don't feel that may be the way it's gone. Just nobody knows. Just because you're partying somewhere without a mask, which is so bad, like, just don't do that.
Yeah, it's
like,
totally irresponsible.
It's super irresponsible that it makes sense that you'd be like, oh, well, if he did this, then, this is going to happen, because that is what happens. But it doesn't happen to everybody, so I don't know. I'm not defending Josh. I'm just saying it's possible that what he's saying is true, which is that the rumors that have been going around aren't exactly true. And that's kind of the way rumors are. They're not usually true.
This is just the thing about it to me, is ultimately it's their health. Whether they test positive, they don't test positive, that's their story if they want to share it.
Yep.
Like Jess said, I think it was super irresponsible for Josh and Casey both to go out and party in the midst of everything that's going on. I'll stand by that opinion to the end of time. But ultimately, if they're not on the season, they're not on the season at this point. Like, I don't really need to get into like the nitty gritty as to why they're not on. It sounds as though from Josh's tweet that maybe he was in sequester for a long time, because it sounds like he'd been wanting to talk about something but hasn't been able to. So maybe he was dropped for whatever reason. I don't know. That's his story. Maybe he's sharing it as we're recording this. We're just doing it based on what we had at that point.
Yeah, because I mean, the health crisis is not the only reason that somebody's not going to necessarily get on the show. It could be that they did have alternates, which I assume that they did, and that as they were just piecing together the cast, that they were like, you know what? If Josh is not in and this person's in instead, this might just make a better show. I mean, this is a show, so they want it to be the best show that they can have. And it might be, we might get more drama, or God forbid, we might get a showmance if we do this instead of bringing in Josh. I could see them doing that.
The only other thing I sort of thought about a little bit, because one part of me is like, okay, if Josh's health is okay, it's surprising that they wouldn't have him on, because he does bring a lot of drama. And I'm not saying Josh is my favorite player at all, but he does bring a lot of drama. But maybe it is we may be owned by Viacom now, but we don't want Big Brother 22 to feel like the challenge. And we already have Bailey, who was on this past season of the challenge, supposedly in the cast. And there was a time when we thought that maybe Swaggy would be in there, and then maybe we would have Josh too. And then it's like, okay, well, now we have 3 people from the challenge. And I don't know if Fessy was ever really rumored to be on this season, but Maybe they're just trying to differentiate themselves. I mean, the truth is, we don't really know, but Josh isn't on the season. I think for the sake of everyone else on the season, they're going to have a chance to play this game. They're not going to have pots and pans begging in their faces now.
Thank God, I don't want to watch it again.
But I just ultimately, I'm going to be excited for whatever cast we end up having. And really, I just want to know the cast at this point. I think a lot of the rumors, there's probably a lot of truth to the cast, like the cast lists that are out there, but there's no guarantee that any of them are fully right. So we'll know tomorrow, and then we will be able to actually talk about the game, which is what I'm really excited to do.
Yeah, I can't wait to talk about the first night and just come on here and be live with you guys. I'm really stoked for it. It is time. We have just been so many rumors and so much nonsense going on. It's just, I cannot wait. I just can't wait.
All right, well, we'll wrap this up now, but also let us know what you thought about the house, about Josh not being on the season. Live feeds tomorrow night. So much more in the comments. You can check out a lot of our other recent Big Brother 22 videos. We'll have some of them linked in the description alongside our links to our store, our Patreon, if you do want to support us more that way. Thank you guys so much for watching and for all of this pregame stuff. We will see you guys very, very soon, so take care.